Well, the Fox 5i team exposes a drug operation targeting Metro high school students in a very unusual way.
Yeah, the drugs involve edibles or marijuana-laced foods that are sold on and off campus. Fox 5i team reporter Randy Travis is here with his hidden camera investigation that ultimately led to a major police sting. Randy?
That's right, Russ. And yeah, when the question comes up in surveys, more than half this country believes marijuana should be legalized. But few people say the sort of thing we uncovered is okay, selling marijuana-laced treats to kids.
I ran out of containers though.
One more successful sale for a company that calls itself Trill Treats. You can follow them on Instagram, place your order, pay an extra $5 for delivery. You can even take their survey. Which high school do you go to? Where do you live? What's your favorite treat? Kids as the target audience. You thought you had everything arranged to make sure that these children were safe.
Absolutely.
And it didn't work.
It didn't. It absolutely didn't.
These three moms asked us not to show their faces. Last summer, their daughters took part in a Sweet 16 birthday sleepover at a Cobb County hotel. Some of the parents serving as chaperones in the next room. After midnight, one of the teens became strangely sick.
She was hallucinating. She was just having like little fits, and she was kind of, scratching herself a little bit. And I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's going on?
According to their report, paramedics found the 16-year-old suffering from seizures. They rushed her to the emergency room where she recovered. It took the parents a bit longer. Did she scare you?
Absolutely. My reaction was, I cannot believe this, that somebody has gotten sick like this and could possibly die on my watch.
The kids finally fessed up. They had ordered $100 worth of pot-infused snacks online from Trill Treats and had them delivered right to the hotel.
And we teach stranger danger, and y'all just gonna let the stranger come to the hotel? Like, I paid all this money for you to bring this clown to the hotel, right, to literally destroy this whole night.
Pot-laced foods called edibles are legal in states like Colorado. But because it takes longer to feel the high compared to smoking marijuana, sometimes people eat too much. One man fell to his death from a fourth-floor hotel balcony in Denver when he began hallucinating after eating an entire marijuana cookie. He was only supposed to eat a small portion. What floor was your hotel room on?
We were on the 4th floor.
They had 10 of these containers, and there wasn't a morsel left.
Not a crumb?
Not a crumb.
Remember that list of high schools on the Trill Treats Instagram page? The parents say they learned the operation as high school students selling the edibles to kids right under the noses of teachers and administrators.
They just send a text or an Instagram message, and they say, meet me by the cafeteria or meet me by the gym. So there's no one that's coming up to the school that's giving, they're already there.
How easy is it? A Fox 5 employee was quickly accepted as one of Trill Treats' 4,100 Instagram followers. We alerted law enforcement about our project, placed an order, then waited in this Douglasville shopping center parking lot for delivery. And up walked 19-year-old Ade Simmons with our box of brownies. Barely an adult himself, the admitted baker and apparent brains of a fast-growing operation.
Do a lot of people buy from you? Like high schoolers too?
Yeah, I started in high school doing this, so then when I graduated, I still knew about it, and I kept people selling for me.
So you do the colleges and everything, right?
Well, I have my sellers to do it. I make sure, I be doing it.
Here's what we wound up with. 12 large individually wrapped brownies cost $100 cash plus $5 delivery. So we're taking the items we bought directly to a lab in Cobb County that's set up to test for this type of thing, and just to make sure we've got a control in here. I bought some honey buns and some of these guys from a store and threw them in as well, so that it can sort of be a control for us for this test. Salvus Labs found no marijuana in our control products. In the brownies we bought from Trill Treats, the test revealed THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, with levels at least 3 times the accepted dosage in pot legal states like Colorado. How confident are you these results are correct?
They're unambiguous. Certainly for somebody that's not or a naive user, I would say that would be a tremendous amount of THC to ingest on one sitting.
The lab alerted Douglas County authorities about its findings and had them take possession of the drugs. 2 months later, the Fox 5i team watched Simmons make another delivery, but we weren't the only ones nearby. Mr. Simmons. Randy Travis with Fox 5. Why did you think it was a good idea to be selling this stuff to kids? Simmons faces 5 felonies, including 2 counts of selling a Scheduled I controlled substance because police say the products contain pure THC. In the Fairburn home he shares with his parents, Fulton County authorities seized boxes of baking items and more than a dozen crock pots. He's in jail without bond. Did you know that some people have gotten sick by eating the stuff you've been selling? Did you know that? Jail's no treat, but perhaps a safer place than encountering a group of parents still seething over what they say happened to their kids.
I would have picked him up by his throat and slammed him up against the wall, and I would have let him know, you put my kid's life in your hands.
So one of the big questions, did his parents know what Simmons was doing inside their home? Reached by phone at work, his mother told me she was, quote, not at liberty to discuss that right now, and did not call back. Neither did Simmons' father. Tonight at 10, how the business of edibles has become so profitable in the metro area, it's leading some to commit murder. It's a very serious crime, Russell Sine.
My goodness. Well, I am so sympathetic to these moms who are trying to do something fun with their kids, and then it turns into this huge catastrophe. But I think there are also some people who are wondering, was it that serious? They had to bring out helicopters to come and arrest this 19-year-old?
Yeah, I was surprised to see the helicopter too, but the way it was explained to me, they followed him from his house to the buy location because they wanted to see where else he might be delivering these products, because it's admitted that he had other people selling for him, and they wanted to see if there was a network here perhaps. So it'll be interesting to see if other arrests take place in this investigation. We'll be watching.
Yeah, you have kids taking too much and having seizures. That's serious business.
They're going to the hospital, Russ. Yeah, it's very serious.
Randy, thanks.
Thanks, Randy.
Well, Douglasville and Fulton County police want to know the true extent of an alleged drug operation that targeted Metro students. The drug, marijuana edibles.
The hidden camera Fox 5 I-Team investigation first exposed the home-based company. It's called Trill Treats. And Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis returns with why authorities are so concerned about this.
Well, think about it, Sine and Russ. How many parents or teachers would be immediately suspicious if they found brownies or fruity pebble treats wrapped up in a kid's book bag? Not only are these marijuana edibles showing up more and more in local schools, they've become so profitable, it's leading some to kill. In September, 2 men shoot to death Stephen Mayer, stealing cash and boxes of pot-laced brownies from his Lithonia home.
That's the newest trend right now, edibles. They sat out and camped out for up to 2 hours.
In April, kids at 2 different Rockdale County schools are hospitalized after eating pot brownies offered to them by other students.
It's more dangerous than the traditional way.
And just this month, Adae Simmons is busted in Douglasville after a Fox 5 I-Team hidden camera investigation caught him running an edibles manufacturing and delivery service out of his Fairburn home. You're selling drugs to kids. You realize that, don't you? How much money did you make from this? He named his company Trill Treats. This is what undercover Douglasville police officers bought. These alleged infused brownies with icing on them in the back seat here. And this is what else was for sale, apparently being delivered to another location, also in the front seat. A box of these goes for about $100. Imagine how many of these trays Mr. Simmons sold during the time he was in business.
So I have a lot of friends who are trying to help me.
The Fox 5 I-Team earlier paid him $100 for this box of a dozen edibles. We made sure authorities took possession after a lab showed those brownies tested positive for the active ingredient in marijuana at levels 3 times higher than the accepted dosage in pot-friendly states like Colorado.
I'll be everywhere with either baking it, cutting, delivering.
According to his Trill Treats Instagram page, this 19-year-old entrepreneur is quite the baker, quite the salesman. A Fox 5 I-Team employee became one of his 4,100 followers and, just like Douglasville police, was able to see samples and the price list for his product line. Brownies, Fruity Pebbles, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, treats guaranteed to get you geeked. He even posted a video of what appears to be bags of marijuana and ingredients needed to start the baking process. Read the comments, and it's clear Simmons had people pushing his products in Metro schools. You need more people selling at Westlake, a customer complains. One person keeps selling out in the morning. Need to get some of these guys at Banneker, writes another. I will eventually. And to another student customer, Meet me by the gym before second period.
So you do the colleges and everything, right?
Well, I have my sellers to do it. I make sure, I be doing it.
That all of this is going on up under the teachers and the principals and the security guards and the police officers that are there on the grounds.
These three moms asked us not to show their faces. They say their high school kids told them they bought marijuana-laced treats from Simmons. One girl wound up in the hospital after eating too much.
You're getting kids to sell drugs in the school. Not when you go out to the school on the street, not when you go to the store, but in school where we have to send our kids.
But Trill Treats isn't the only game in town.
Never to this day that I would have ever imagined that now we're worried about edible drugs.
Just this year, his deputies arrested 2 students who brought homemade brownies into Heritage High School. Another faces charges for sharing this professionally baked marijuana edible with a fellow student at Edwards Middle School. For a sheriff who started off his career as a school resource officer, this new form of drug trafficking is frightening.
What was your reaction when you heard they were that young?
It was very alarming because if it can get into the middle schools, then it can get into the hands of the elementary school.
I'm working on a lot of different things. I'm trying to just figure out what, to do.
Meanwhile, the mastermind of Trill Treats faces 5 felony counts and remains in the Douglas County Jail without bond. Since Simmons' arrest, that Trill Treats Instagram account has disappeared, but not before allowing investigators to see how a 19-year-old put together his own thriving business, from manufacturing to packaging to marketing, sales, and delivery, right up until the day police decided this sale was final.
And as for that homicide over cash and edibles in Lithonia, DeKalb police say they still have no solid leads, but it really shows how valuable this stuff can be to some people of the criminal element.
Yeah, and how worrisome it can be because these young people don't realize how potent these edibles are, right?
And that's why the Rockdale County Sheriff says that he's going to have to educate his community to make sure that parents and the kids know that if you eat some of this stuff, it doesn't give you an immediate high. It takes a while and you wind up eating way too much of it. What really bothered him was that it showed up in middle schools. And we're not talking even high schools now, we're talking middle school kids. And as he pointed out, if it's middle school, what's stopping it from getting to the elementary schools as well?
Right. The sheriff even mentioning that this form of marijuana can be actually more toxic than smoking it.
If you eat too much of it, and what kid is not going to eat a lot of brownies or anything sweet?
Yeah, Fruity Pebbles.
Right.
Thanks so much, Randy.
Okay.
Appreciate
Randy,
it.
thanks.